What's going on? I'm TC Jukebox, and thank you for stopping by for my first movie review. I just went and saw Hardcore Henry just a little while ago. It was probably within an hour that I left the theater. So the basic idea behind Hardcore Henry is you sit in the first-person view the entire time, the whole movie, very similar to like watching. Well, I guess it depends on the game, but very similar to a video game. The creators, from what I'd heard, they were aiming for something that was a combination of a roller coaster ride, a video game, and movie, kind of all bundled into one. And I think I heard somebody say it was like Captain America, Winter Soldier meets Jason Bourne meets Call of Duty. I can see the Call of Duty Jason Bourne mix. I'd say that is that is a very, very good representation. I don't know how Captain America fits in though. I don't really know what they were seeing in that. But the whole point is you follow in his point of view the entire movie. It's a big action thing. The story is pretty decent, but it's not going to win anything. But it was good enough for me. I like the way they did plenty of things in there. I don't want to give any spoilers on it, even though it's not the main point of the movie. The main point of the movie is it's super high action. It is like a roller coaster ride. You just go, and it takes you everywhere. So you think like Jason Bourne doing his fight scenes, but you do it from his camera view. You do it right from his point of view. It's insane, and it's awesome. I was blown away by the amazing stunts and special effects that was done on it, the visual effects. It is extremely gory, but the way they did that was amazing. Like somebody gets shot in the head with a shotgun and half his face blew off. I have no idea how they make it look like that. It's awesome. It's also terrible, but it's awesome. And there's all kinds of crazy stunts they do all over the place, and from what I'd heard, they never had any cables or anything going on. They were never harnessed for anything, which is crazy after some of the things I saw on there. There was one where they go running across a bridge that has like an overhead, and the two guys are just sprinting across the top of the bridge. If they fell, they would have died. There was no harnesses or anything holding them. They were just going, which is amazing. It looks awesome. There's plenty of times when the character is looking all around the room, and there's no cameras, there's no people, there's no crew. Typically when they're filming a movie, they've got like a whole bunch of people back behind, and they're filming the one way, just like you can't see anything that's going on over there because you're not supposed to, but it's there. When they filmed the movie, everything was coming from like a GoPro or something that the guy was wearing on him. So everything was being filmed that way, and you could look all around, and you never see anybody there unless they're like another actor in the movie or something, another character, which is crazy. It was awesome. The only negative things I really have to say about it, the fact that you are seeing it from his point of view and it's flipping all over the place. A lot of times he'll move his head really fast, and it's really, really hard to keep up with it. It's just really, really hard to process. You can't do it as fast as he's moving. It's just hard. Normally, you get the point. You get what you need to out of it. But there's a couple parts, especially getting closer to the end, where you just get lost. You can't tell what he's doing anymore with his head. There was a lot of nudity in it that I could have gone without, but that's something you get with rated R movies, I guess. You just know what you're getting into when it comes to that. I prefer to not have it in there, but what are you gonna do? There's also lots of language and stuff like that. This is very, very much not a kid's movie. This is a hard R, between tons of gore, the nudity, language. It's a hard R. I couldn't decide how I felt about the villain exactly, about the bad guy in the movie. It was a little out there. Most of the things in the movie make sense, kinda, because there's like all kinds of stunts that he does that he can survive because reasons that kind of make sense. But the bad guy kind of has certain supernatural abilities that I wasn't really a fan of. You see that kind of early on in the movie. I don't know. That I still don't know how I feel about that. Maybe I'll have to sit on it for a couple days to figure out where I am on it. It's very science fiction-y. It's not super duper grounded. The movie doesn't take itself too seriously either, and I'd heard somebody say that, and I watched the first half of the movie like, nah, it kind of does, but no, it only half takes itself seriously. It's pretty goofy. Jimmy is a character who is very goofy, and actually probably needed to have the goofiness amongst all of the seriousness and the gore and all that stuff that's going on. But it was a good thing. It didn't take away from it that it was goofy and didn't take itself seriously. I mean, it did when it needed to, and it did it just the right way, but it didn't take itself so seriously that it was just ridiculous. They were able to have fun with it. When it comes out, I will be buying it. I am very curious if they'll have all kinds of behind-the-scenes stuff and be explaining like how they did a lot of the stuff they did, because I was lost on a lot of those stunts and things they did. I have no idea what they did. Usually I can tell, but there's a ton I couldn't figure out in this one. So I'm really looking forward to that. And also I just want to go on the ride again. It's insane and it's very, very exciting. I don't know, you'd have to see it. It's a roller coaster ride. It was fun. It was exciting. And it was new. They did things differently. They didn't just like rip off other movies or try to find a way to make it a little different. They did very different things, especially because I don't know that anyone's ever done a movie just from the perspective of the main character the whole way through. Sometimes like a shot, they'll do some here and there, but if there is a movie where they've done that, I haven't ever heard of it. So that whole thing is different by itself, but then like some of the fighting choreography and things like that, some of the fight scenes, they were very original, I thought, and it looked awesome. If I was to give it a rating, that'd be really, really hard for me to do. I'm not used to giving things ratings, but I may as well for the sake of, the review. I would say I'd probably give it 4.5. It was really, really good, but I wouldn't quite go to 5 stars. There's a few things that bothered me, especially that villain. I'm not sure how I feel about him yet. So yeah, if you want to go see an action thrill ride different than anything you've ever seen before, that's very similar to a combination between Call of Duty and Jason Bourne, I would say, then this might be the movie for you. Unless you're squeamish, because this is extremely gory. I'd say this is the most gory thing I've seen in my life. But it adds a certain realism-ish to it, even though they're not all about being super grounded in the movie. I don't know, like, there's too many times in movies where somebody gets shot in the head and it doesn't happen the way it would have in reality, because they try to keep the rating low or whatever. But yeah, things happen as they would if they actually happen to your body. So it's very gory. They don't shy away from things. There's tons of nudity. There's like sexual references, and they start touching on themes, but they don't get too far into that, I don't think. There's tons of language all over the place. So if that all turns you off, then you probably shouldn't go see it. Especially the gore, because there's tons of it. But if you can get past all of that and you're ready for a thrill ride, then I would definitely recommend it. Go check it out. So yeah, Herdcore Henry, I'd give it about 4.5 out of 5 stars. Definitely go see it. I would recommend it, unless all those things turn you off. So that's it for my little review for this movie. If you like it, please leave a like down there. If you have anything to say about it, give me a comment. I'll probably respond to it. If it's worth responding to. If you just go and say, oh, first, I don't know what you want me to say to it. I may respond to it anyway, because I've done that before in the past. But let me know if you want to see any more of these, because I would definitely be willing to do more. I may do more anyways, just because. But thanks for hanging out with me for just a little while, and I hope to see you in the next one. But until then, take it easy.